Okay, so this is going to be the 2-queen vertical colony, and now I've got Adeline, aka Peanut, 9-year-old assistant, and last year she did really well in the state fair. Her frames got first prize and grand champion first prize. So she's going to help me hive these bees. She's running the smoker. And we'll be helping. Yeah. And so just like before, we are going to spray the outside of the package with sugar water to calm them down. You want to help with this, Peanut?
Yeah. Spraying.
Okay.
It's my specialty.
All right. So there you go. I'll spin this around. You can get the other side.
Why does it calm them down?
Because it gets them, their wings all sticky and they won't fly as much. No, they're busy licking all the sugar water off of themselves. Off of each
Oh,
other.
that one can't fly now.
Yep, that's good.
No, it's on the outside though.
Now there'll be several on the outside. All right, so we do just like before. I will smack these down to the bottom. And so now they're all on the bottom. None of them will get squished when I pull the can out. This is a sugar water can that comes with the bees, and that feeds them in the meantime while they're traveling. So we'll dump about half the bees in the bottom here.
Cool.
Okay, and then we'll set these aside, and we'll put these frames in with one of the queens. Hey, don't interrupt. People want to see the video of how to do this. Okay. All right, and so then we're going to drop a queen in. Turn her sideways once again to make sure that her screen, they can see her through the screen so she doesn't inadvertently get put up against the foundation for the honeycomb. Okay, we'll shake a few more bees on top. Okay, smoke those down in there, darling. And here is that double queen excluder I was talking about. It's got one on each side and it spaces so the queens can't get to each other. Okay.
A little more?
Yep, that'll get them moving. Okay, that's enough. You don't want to burn them up because that can be too hot too. There's a big ball of them right there.
You want me to smoke? Hello?
Yeah. Move them kind of out of the way. I don't want them getting squished in that cardboard. Alright, so then we put this down. And then we'll go on with the next brood box on top of that. And then we'll do the same. We'll pull out a few of these until we get them down in the bottom there.
So are you going to dump the rest in the bottom of this one?
Yep, that's what we're going to do. And then
Do you want me to smoke them a little? these are the ones from last year, right?
No. Oh, the honeycomb?
Yeah.
Yep.
It looks like one of the sides burned on that one.
Nope. Trying to move them around so they don't get squished in the bottom. Okay. We're going to do another one.
That one's stuck in the hive.
And then we'll put this queen in with this last one.
Okay.
Give me the queen. Turn her sideways. Then we'll dump the rest on top of the hive. Okay, you'll gently smoke those in, down in, not to get too close to them because you don't want to.
I'm just doing it on the top to scare them.
No, you want to smoke them down on them, but just stay at a distance because you don't want to burn them up. Okay, then I'll take this around front. I'll set this by their opening.
Why?
So they'll know, the rest of the bees in the package will know how to get into their hive.
But can't they go into a different hive?
Nope, they'll smell the queen of their own. They only go into their own.
The two queens of their own.
Okay. And keep smoking them. Got to drive them down into the.
I'm trying to get the sides.
Okay. Alright, so we'll put this on.
Because we're done with this?
Try to push them out of the way so you don't squish any.
Yeah. I want to have some beef.
Push a few of the girls out of the way.
What girls?
All worker bees are girls, remember?
Yeah. What do the boys do?
Then give them some sugar water.
I help.
Yep. Dump that in.
Why do they need sugar water?
Because that's their carbs. That's what they eat.
Oh, that was actually fun.
Okay. Looks like we need to help one girl out.
Yeah.
She gets stuck.
Poor thing. She lost one of her legs.
Nah, she still got legs.
What is that for?
There we go. And that's how you hive a 2-queen vertical.
So last time you did a 1 queen vertical?
Okay, so now I'm going to describe how we mark the queens. And so, pretty simple process. I'm all suited up right now. As I go through the summer, I'll get stung a couple of times. Usually the first few times I swell up really large, but then as the season goes on, I develop a little bit of immunity or something, because later in the season it has no effect if I get stung. So kind of the same thing to get the bees down. As you can see, the package here, they're all up around the queen. This holds the queen cage, and so we'll knock them down, and then I'll pull the queens out, and then I'll put the can or this book back over on the top. So what I want to do is knock them down. We'll pull the sugar water out. Try to rake any bees off that are on there. Shake any off of the queen cages. This time I'll just use the book again. Okay, so now they're trapped in there. This is, I don't know if you can see that, but there's small little tiny holes. And as they lap the sugar water up, then it just allows the air to go up in there and allow a little bit more to come down. So that's how they send them. There's actually quite a bit left in this can. Typically there's, by the time we get the bees, these cans are empty and they're really starving. So at least they've had plenty of food this time, but probably haven't been in transit as long either. So I'm gonna set this aside. And now I'll stop the video and take you inside so you can see how we mark the queens. Okay, so this is the 2 queens that we have here. You can see they're both pretty active. That's a good sign. And so what we like to do, they're actually marked a certain color every year, but since we're not in the business of selling marked queens or concerned about how old they are from year to year, I'm just using a red paint pen. Quite frankly, I don't know what color is supposed to represent 2020, but this just helps us identify them easier, and we don't have to look quite so hard. They really stand out as the summer goes by and we see the queen. A secondary benefit is at some point, occasionally you'll get a supersedure where a new queen replaces an old one. It's pretty apparent when you see a new queen running around and she doesn't have paint on her. Obviously the old queen has gone away, or they've taken the paint off of her, but that's pretty rare. Usually she's been replaced with a new queen. But anyway, so what we need to do is there's a cork in here, and I'm going to pull that cork out. Careful not to, try not to do anything while the queen is on this end of the cage, so I don't harm her. And then I drop her just like that. That's a terrible video. And but that happens on occasion. So anyway, she's still in there. So what I'm going to do now is this little, it's called a one-handed queen catcher. This thing is great. It's well worth the money. It makes it a lot easier to do this entire process. So what I do is I cover up the opening so she's got no place to go but inside there. And then once she's in and at the opposite side, what I'll do is she's in there. Once she gets away from this grate here, I'll close it up, and now she is closed up. It looks like there's a worker bee in here flying around, probably smells the queen. And so now I'm just going to move this plunger up a little bit, and as the plunger comes up, it will force her to stand on the foam and put her back up against that grate. Once the back is up against the grate, and then I'll mark her. And just trying to get her to roll over. She's not rolling over yet. One thing about queens is they have a stinger, but it's not a barbed stinger, so they can sting multiple times. But typically they won't sting a person or other bees, except for other queens. When you get in a battle with other queens, that's when they use their stingers. Okay, so now she's up the direction that we want, so I'll just keep raising this little foam plunger a little more until she gets trapped. And then once she's trapped, then I can mark her with the red paint. So she's now marked with red paint. Okay, and then I'll let her back down, and I'll put the cap back on the paint pen, and then I'll just work her back into her queen cage. It just makes them easier to find. Like I said, the queen. Okay, she's back in the cage. Okay, so then what I'll do is I'll take a little piece of marshmallow, wait for her to get back to the other end, and then I'll just pack that opening full of marshmallow candy. And like I said, it'll take a few days. They will eat the marshmallow candy away and release her. Because she's been with the other bees already for 2 or 3 days, they should already accept her just fine. And now I'll do the same thing here.